Welcome back to It Resolves, where we play a new deck every single day. Today's deck is Gruul Landfall. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another standard gameplay video. We're trying out Gruul Landfall today. We've been playing a lot of Landfall decks, I know, but I'm really in love with this Splendid Reclamation with these new Streets of New Capenna lands. I just think it's such a fun kind of combo that you can really do so much with it. And so today I wanted to try something a little bit different, which is very aggro focused. The goal is to get as many lands down as possible, triggering Landfall on things like the Hellhound. We've got the Brushfire Elemental, Lotus Cobra for a little extra mana. Of course, Scoot Swarm, which will hopefully go really wide for us and trigger Devilish Valet a lot to ideally get this thing up in terms of power level, and then we can really just fight through. We do have Kazul's Fury as well, just as a couple of extra lands, but also as a way of just throwing a big creature at something, including the opponent. We do have Valakut Exploration as well. One of the things that I noticed this deck suffers from is that you really don't have necessarily a ton of plays. And so having the Valakut Exploration just gives you a little bit of extra longevity against mid-range or even control decks that, you know, you might need just an extra little push. Inscription of Abundance is really nice in this deck because you can gain a lot of life or just fight off a creature if you need to, or again, throw some 1/1 counters around, which is great. I do have the Skyclave Pickaxe for a bit of extra aggression. Little unsure about this one, if I'm honest. It's good in a aggro focus deck, which this certainly is focused mostly on aggro, but we do have a little bit of mid-range stuff, and so this can be kind of a loss, but we are really stacked on lands, so we actually have 26 lands, most of which, of course, are these, you know, extra weird sacrifice lands, whatever you want to call it. But the idea is that you can Splendid Reclamation to pull all these back, trigger Landfall a ton of times, and then ideally really get going. So it's a pretty straightforward deck. We're going to try this one out, guys. Again, I literally just put this together, and we're trying it for, I guess, technically the second time. I played one game with it. I did win that game, which was awesome. But I'm not really sure what's going to happen. This is a completely new one for me, so we're going to test this out, guys. Hopefully have some fun today. It's a bit of a silly one, but hopefully kick off the week with a positive spin. So let's see how it goes, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, guys, here we are for game number one. This is an interesting hand. So this is one of the downsides to the deck, which is very simply that, you know, naturally you're going to have a lot of these tapped lands. So it does kind of... It's a bit of an interesting way to play, because you would think aggro, you obviously want to have things down turn one. Normally you do, but we're going to test this out. I do kind of like this hand, though. If we can pick up a couple of extra lands, which again, with 26 should not be a problem, we should be able to really get something going here. We're going to pull a Mountain to start, because that does allow us next turn to play the Hellhound right off the bat. And then from there we can decide in the future turns what we'd like to do. I'd love an extra land, but it looks like Splendid Reclamation's the play here. That's fine. We'll go ahead and throw this down. I don't expect this is going to live. We're against an Is It deck, and so I'm actually pretty happy to have a very threat-heavy hand, just because you never really know, you know, how difficult or easy a matchup's going to be, and this is certainly not going to be an easy one if I had to guess. So you can kind of get the idea just from this how powerful the deck can be, especially, again, dropping a Splendid Reclamation with even just 2 or 3 of these lands can really take off. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot. Oh, goodness. Sorry, my dog is going crazy under there. But we don't have a ton to start here, so we're hoping for the best. They're going to Spike Field Hazard that. Fair enough. Would love a land? No? Okay. That's not ideal. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm really surprised we're not drawing lands, guys. We have 26 lands in the deck, and we haven't drawn a single land, other than the 2 in our starting hands, so that's not ideal. There's Hinata. Okay, I mean, it's a land. I will take it. Let's do this. Let's do this. It's gonna trigger Landfall, of course. Let's go green. Oh, it costs 1 more, that's why. Okay, I was curious as to why I forgot about the Hinata. I guess we'll just run this out. My expectation is that they're probably just gonna have like a giant magma opus or something this turn, so we're probably in bad shape, but it's okay. We got this, maybe. We'll see. I don't have strong hopes. This is certainly a rough matchup. I would love to keep the Lotus Cobra on the field and then just draw a bounce land or something. Yep, there it is. That's the play. I hate that. But I mean, hey, they got it. So what is gonna be the play, I wonder? We'll see what the draw is. Be great to have a land. That's not a land. Yeah, this isn't going so well. But you know what? It's cool. Sometimes we just don't play very well. I'm really surprised we're not drawing, like, lands are what we need, so that is just very surprising to me that we haven't drawn very many. And it's a little frustrating, but like, it is what it is. We're probably just dead next turn. So that's fine. Wow, still no lands. Okay, I'm just gonna concede. Unfortunately, we just didn't draw any lands. That was really bad. Let's jump into our next game. What's up, guys? Before we jump into the next game, I just want to remind you, if you would like to pick up this month's Patreon rewards, feel free to do so at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for our next game here. This is a keep. We do have a turn 1 Hellhound into the future Lotus Cobra, which is obviously quite good. We'll see. I like this hand better because we at the very least have technically an extra land with the Kazul's Fury here, so I'm semi-optimistic. Let's go ahead and do this now. I do need to do this and not the Kazul's Fury land. As much as I'd rather have this land coming down with the Lotus Cobra, we need the green source, so that's just the reality of what we have to do. We do get 4 damage in on turn 2, which is pretty reasonable, and we're up to 21, so I don't know. We'll see. Fully expect they'll be able to kill some stuff here, but they didn't. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we definitely just throw this out. We'll go ahead and play the land here. This really doesn't gain us too much. We'll throw the green out. I think I will attack in. They probably just block. That's honestly okay by me. Normally I wouldn't make that call, but I think I'm actually okay with it here. We'll see though. They probably could just load it or kill the Lotus Cobra this turn. No. Interesting. Okay. Give me a land. Nope. Okay. I mean, we can just play the Devilish Valet. I honestly think though that this is probably the better play. I'm just gonna pass though. Kind of unfortunate. I'm so surprised. We have so many lands in this deck. Technically 28 if you count the Kazul's Fury lands, the cliffs or whatever. So like, this is really weird that we're just not drawing lands. But whatever, I guess. Yep. That's a super dead Lotus Cobra. Cool. Well, guys, it's not going well, not gonna lie. But that's okay. What in the world? What is this? Yeah, I'm just gonna attack in. Chances are they're gonna be able to kill this at some point, so I'm just gonna attack. This is so weird. Like, I mean, we have so many lands. Like, where is this coming from? I'm surprised they blocked that. Why would they? It's 1 damage. We're out of mana. Like, we can't do anything. I guess maybe in case we could play something. No, because that'd be post-combat. Yep. That's really sucky. Guys, we're not doing so hot. We're gonna start off the week on a bad note. But you know what? It's totally cool. We're gonna enjoy it. If we get it 1 game, I will be happy. I'd really like to see the Devilish Valet go off with like a Scoot Swarm. I'll be honest, this deck isn't gonna be good in the meta. We already know that, but it's fine. What in the world? All right, I'm out. We're starting to game 3. I'm salty. All right. Wow, okay, all of a sudden we have tons of lands. Honestly, this is a bad keep, but we're gonna try it. We're already so far in the hole, it doesn't matter anyway. This deck is terrible, nobody play it, we're just here to have fun. I can't believe we have not drawn lands. Like, now all of a sudden we have tons, but now we only have 3 drops, so this isn't exactly great. I don't know, man. This deck is silly. Opponent gonna take some time, which is cool. I think we'll go red source first. I don't think it really matters, but that's cool. Another 3 drop. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm so upset. 3 Scoot Swarms. Excellent. We'll just lead with a Scoot Swarm. Chances are they kill it like immediately, which is kind of fine. I don't really care that much. We've got 2 more backup, so they can spend the whole game answering Scoot Swarms, and that'll be cool. There's the Dragon's Fire for sure. What a silly, silly deck we're playing today. All right, Fable, huh? Interesting. Okay. What do we want to do? We're just gonna go ahead and do this. I don't know that this is the right call at all, but we're gonna do it. We'll get another forest, of course. All right, let's see what happens. Fully expect they have plenty of removal here, so I don't think this is gonna work out in our advantage. But what this sets up is a Devilish Valet into maybe a land draw, which again is our highest probability, but that doesn't really seem to be working out for us. So we'll see. Yep, it does kind of force them to have to answer the, I think we just double block here and kill this. It does kind of force them to answer the Scoot Swarm, which just, what that does is force them to be mana intensive, if that makes sense. So they're gonna have to spend, in this case it was only 1 mana, but they have to spend some amount of mana just to get rid of the Scoot Swarm, in which case they have less mana to do the rest of what they want to do. Which is fine by me. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Just gonna flood the board a little bit here. They clearly know our game plan now, which is landfall into Devilish Valet with Scoot Swarm out. So what we're trying to do is set up a turn where we can play Scoot Swarm, play lands, really trigger the Devilish Valet, and then go ham. We'll see if it works. Probably not, according to how the deck has run so far. So we'll see. This has been so bad. All right. They pass through their turn, which is kind of interesting. Oh. All right, so which is gonna die? Do we think it's the Valet or do we think it's the Scoot Swarm? It's gonna be one of them. I hope it's the Valet and not the... Yep, there it is. Cool. All right. Might as well play the land here. We just kind of need to do something. I don't think it matters too much which one we get. I guess technically red would have been maybe better, but I don't think it matters. I will just attack in with both here. Red would have technically represented more, if that makes sense. Not that our deck runs any kind of major interaction, but like that's always something to consider. Sure. All right. Maybe we should have taken last turn to play a second Valet just to be kind of safe. But it's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, this deck isn't very good. It's fine though. We're enjoying it. Totally. Yep. You did it. What would we want? Splendid Reclamation would be kind of sick. That's not. What the heck? I'm gonna do this just because we need to kind of do something. And I guess I'll just throw this out there because why not? We'll throw it on the Valet, expecting that the Valet is gonna die. I'm just amazed. Like, I thought we would be flooded. Like, every game, I thought we were gonna be flooded with lands. We've got the equivalent of 28 lands in the deck. How is it that we... I mean, this game has been much better, of course, but like previous games, I just don't understand. Yep, that's fine. I mean, not really, but whatever. Yep. Not gonna block. We need something on the field. Oh my gosh. Guys, what the heck? I'm conceding. We're going into another game. This is amazing. I don't know what the heck is happening, but it's fine. Let's jump into a game 4. All right, here we are for game number 4. Please, can we do anything this game? This hand is pretty good. I'm super into this. Let's go for it. And let's see how it goes. We're gonna lose oh yeah, we're all right. Cool. Oh, why do we even play? Let me be clear in saying at this point, because I probably should have led with this, we kind of knew like aggro decks are not at their best right now because of all the control decks running around. So just keeping that in mind that yes, we're aware. However, I was hoping to try something a little bit different today. Unfortunately, it doesn't really seem to be working at all, which is a little frustrating. But again, you know, you can't help that. It is what it is. I just wanted to try something. Just a little sad that it didn't work out. I'm kind of surprised they did that. I mean, I'm kind of cool with it, but let's Brush Fire Elemental. I'll attack for 1. It's nothing crazy. I'm very surprised they actually marched that because I mean, they could have just killed it with the Shambling Ghast. It was kind of my thought. But that's fine. We're gonna give him another target because I'd rather have the Lotus Cobra, I think. All right. See if this actually sticks. Probably not. Now what? I'm assuming they kill something. Maybe not? Wow. I mean, I still assume they're gonna kill something. They have to, I would imagine. Get a green source, doesn't matter too much. Just red. I'll play the Hellhound, fully expecting that it's gonna die. But it's fine. If they Meat Hook Massacre, it's gonna really suck. Which is very likely. All they have to do is Meat Hook for 1 and our whole board is gone. That is a bit of a downside to this deck. Along with every other downside to this deck. But it's fine. Wow, no, they didn't Meat Hook. Fascinating. Really thought they were going to there. What do we hope to draw then? Not that. I guess red. Doesn't really matter. Okay. I think I am gonna go ahead and Splendid Reclamation. It's nothing like super crazy, but it does at least kind of force the issue a little bit here. Mostly this is just deck thinning, to be honest. I wish we had another Reclamation or something to hit with all this mana, but we just don't. On the bright side, this is a giant creature. I'm actually gonna attack with both because chances are they're just gonna kill the Lotus Cobra anyway, so I might as well get 2 damage in with it. They obviously needed to block the 12 power thing. Good news now is though, we have so much mana that anything we draw is like easy playable. It's just we need big stuff to play. Okay, that's certainly good. They can just hit any creature. Brush Fire Elemental is good, yeah. All right. I guess we'll go here. I don't know that it matters too much. Put 2 1/1 counters on it. Target player gains X. That's us. Oh, us? Yes, I will happily discard a card. Okay. I mean, that was a pretty good draw, honestly. That could have been a lot worse. I'm still, I mean, Shambling Gas doesn't kill Hellhound now, but like, we're still not in great shape. The good news is a land actually puts us well above. Oh, that's really good. Okay, cool. Okay. This Hellhound is doing the most right now, guys. It's so... That's a big dog. That's a big boy. We also are going to have very few lands left in our deck, which is like kind of fine by me. All right. I wish this had trample, but it does not. So now they just have to block it. All right. They haven't played a removal spell, which is amazing to me. Like, do they just not have one? They're just playing a bunch of creatures. And they're also kind of light on lands. Like, they've only got 4. I mean, that's not bad. I guess we should have just attacked first. Nah, I don't care. I'm just attacking. That was probably a misplay because now they can kill the Brushfire Elemental, which was kind of dumb on my part, but it's fine. Honestly, I'd rather entice them to do that than kill... Oh, they're going to Deadly Dispute. Okay. Wow, nice. Well done, opponent. That solves a lot of their issues right now, which is not great for us. I don't know. This game's weird. We're probably still going to lose, and it's fine. This is the last game. I'm done with this deck. Yep, there it is. Cool. Yeah. I think we save that for when we have a land to play. A Splendid Reclamation would be amazing. We could Scoot Swarm into Splendid Reclamation. Oh, come on. Come on. We're just getting demolished. Why do we even play? I didn't want to run it into a removal spell with no lands because then, like, we can't double up on it. So I thought it was safer in the hand than it was, especially seeing the Invoke Despair. I was like, oh, well, that's a lot safer to have that in the hand than it is on the field because we know they have removal. Ugh. So frustrating. All right. Yep. Scoot Swarm, maybe? Would that even be good? All right. There's not really a huge point in playing the Reclamation until we've got something on the field with Landfall. Honestly, a Valakut Exploration or whatever it is would be kind of sick. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, if you've ever wondered if I only show you the wins, you should know by now that's not the case. We definitely don't do that here. So let's yeah. Cool. Give me something, please. Oh my god. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm still gonna risk it. If they have another Invoke Despair, we just die. Now we draw all the lands. We should have played one of them, I suppose. There's not a big reason not to. Mostly we're just enticing them to make us try and discard a card, I guess, but I don't know. My hope is gone. Guys, I hope your Monday is starting off pretty well. Maybe you got something fun going on at work. Maybe you got some exciting thing or exciting project to work on this week. That'd be great. Wish you the best of luck with that. We're gonna die, but it's fine. We're just gonna sit back and enjoy it, you know? Yeah, there it is. Make us sacrifice stuff. All right, so in this case, I'm actually glad I did leave these cards in hand so we can do this. A little surprised they would go for that because they still had lethal next turn. I guess they still have lethal now-ish, but I'm really glad I kept those in hand at this point because we would have lost the reclamation. Oh, come on. Why? All right, let's talk about this. All right, so 4 straight losses. Heck yeah, starting off the week right. Yeah, this deck is not good. Let me be clear, going into this one, this was a bit of a just trying something new style deck. It was to take what we've been using, which is that landfall mechanic with the Splendid Reclamation and the sacrifice lands, whatever you call them, and put them in an aggro focused deck just to see if it would work. For me, it didn't. It might for you. Give it a shot if you'd like. I don't think it's a good deck. Not in the meta right now, especially on best of 1, because there's so much removal and so many ways to deal with the board that, like, when you're overcommitted to just that, it's pretty bad. It's fine. Like, it's cool. It happens. It's no big deal. But it's just, you know, it wasn't a good deck. I put together a bad deck. So I hope you enjoyed watching me lose. It's totally fine. If you watch this and you were really upset and you give it a thumbs down, totally understand. It's fine. Thank you guys for watching. Regardless, I do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Hopefully a better day than I'm having, but I love you all very much. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you later.